Welcome. Welcome to Xa Talk Show, episode 1013. Today is June 5th, 2019. And today's episode, we are going to do a live coding of JavaScript in Emacs. So this is also a workflow, Emacs workflow demo with Xafly keys. And okay, let's begin. Let's show my Firefox browser. And we are going to do a live coding of HTML, XML entities. So let me make sure I am alive and everything. Yes, looks like it. So live coding in Emacs with Xafly keys, live coding JavaScript, and we are going to do the coding. The task is HTML entities. So I have this code. This is a JavaScript JSON format, and it's a object and 2,200 lines, and each object property you have the entity name, code point, and the characters in JavaScript string format. So first of all, what is HTML entities? In case you don't know, it is in that in HTML you can type, for example, let's go to top of the page. For example, you can type, let's go here. So let's say ampersand sign, and let's say pound semicolon, put a paragraph on it, show in browser, and you can see a pound sign. That's what HTML entities are for. They allows you to type a non-ASCII character. Of course, you can also type the pound sign directly if your HTML is set to UTF-8. For example, I type the pound sign, make a paragraph, show it. You see a pound sign. So you can use HTML entities for it, and this HTML entities began with the ampersand sign, and so there are a bunch of them. There used to be about 200 of them, but since HTML5 they added, so there are like 2,000 of them now, which is by the way, it's a bad idea. It's very bad. I talked about this on my last talk show, where I talked about why HTML entities is a very bad thing. You should avoid using it. Don't use it at all. So that's HTML entities. It allows you to type a non-ASCII character by a code, like kind of a coded sequence of letters. Now there are HTML entities, but there are three there are three ways to type a non-ASCII character. One way is by what's called the code point. Let me show you. So I type first of all, let's find out what is the code point for the pound sign. So in Emacs, we are going to call describe char. But before we do that, let me start XAR command log mod so you can actually see it. So start XAR start command mod. Command mod now that is my command, a wrapper command to start the command log mod. You can search it on Mailpie and you can find that package, but the package it's not, the design is not so good in my opinion, and the documentation is very bad. So it requires several not intuitive commands to start to use it, because I already started, so you can see all the Emacs command I call on the left panel. But I wrote a command xar start command log mod that takes care of the starting up. You can find that on my GitHub Emacs init. Yeah, so let's go back to the entities. So we are talking about HTML entities. I said they are, it's a way to type non-ASCII characters by a coded string, and there are three methods to create three kind of HTML entities. So one of them is you find out what is the code point of the character you want to type. So I call describe function. Describe char while cursor is on the pound sign, and what I get is this panel. And you see the character name is pound sign, and on the second line you will see that it says the code point is 163, and in hexadecimal notation is A3. So anyway, so 163 is the code point, so let's put that here, and let's type pound sign, ampersand and pound sign, then 163 the code point, then comma. Okay, then make it paragraph and show in browser. You can see that it shows the pound sign. So any character, you can use HTML entities for it when you know the character's code point. So that's one way to use HTML entity. Now you can also use the hexadecimal notation, which is for the pound sign is A3. So A3 show in browser. Oh wait, you need X here. So ampersand pound sign X, then the hexadecimal. So show in browser. So you can see it's a pound sign. So this is the second way. Another way, the third way, is by what's called named entities. So remember, entities, all these we've talked about, those are entities, HTML or XML entities. Three methods to use it. One is by the code point, one is by the hexadecimal. The third way is by what's so-called named entities, HTML named entities. What that means is that for certain characters, HTML gives it a name. So instead of using code point or hexadecimal, you can just type the name. So for example, we have this ampersand pound semicolon, and it shows up, as a pound sign. So why the named entities? Well, named because it's easier to remember. When you need the pound sign, you just say pound. When you need the cent sign, you just say ampersand cent semicolon. Okay, show in browser. You can see there's a cent. So for all these characters, you have some of them has a name, and that entity is called HTML named entity. Now remember, it's only some of these characters has a name, not all. For those characters that doesn't have a name, you can just use the code point or the hexadecimal. Okay, let me check. Oh, 4 people watching. Great. Good morning. So say hi here in the comment. So we covered what is the entities and 3 ways to input entities. Now, so what are so named entities? As I mentioned before, there are about 200 of them, but because of HTML5, they added, now there are like 2,000 2000s of them. So let's go to the let me show you the JavaScript file. Actually, yeah, here. So hold on a second. Let me close this window. So you can see here, 2000 lines of this is a JSON file. This is a complete list of named entities in HTML5. So so what I'm going to do today is actually, you see, I have this web page. This is a complete list before HTML5, 2000s of them, 200 of them. What I'm going to do is going to update this page so it becomes the complete list of HTML named entities. So what does that involve? That involves, I got the source data here. This is my source data. I'm going to this is JavaScript code. I'm going to convert it to manipulate it in some way and eventually create a web page, replacing this page. So that's what I'm going to do today. And so you're gonna see some demo of me using Emacs and some talk about JavaScript and that's it. Yeah, we already covered what is entities. So I'm like, okay, so let's do that. Let's do that. So first of all, how are we gonna do this? This is unscripted, so I don't know actually. So let's just figure it out. Let's see how long have I been talking. Okay, let's do for another 10 minutes and let's see how far we go. But before that, let me get my energy drink. Today I have tomato juice. Now this is Dollar Tree store. You got one bottle of tomato juice for $1. It's very good. And then add a pour of the energy drink. This is sugar-free energy drink, which is basically concentrated coffee. So let's get back to the task at hand. We want to create this turn this JSON file into HTML page. So if you have comments, questions, I'd love to see it. Post it. Okay, so let's do this. So we need to turn this into a HTML page. First of all, there's this problem. This file, JSON file of the this JSON file came from the W3C standard website. And it's done in this funny way because you see now the key. This is a JSON file, and which basically is a JavaScript object. Object is a list of properties, key and values. Now, so each key is this string. This string is the syntax for the named entity. So if you type capital A acute, it's going to show capital letter A with a a strike on top of the letter. So the keys are the entity name syntax, and then the value is another object, and this object has two keys. One is code point, one is characters. The code point is obviously the Unicode code point, which is the ID that identify the character. So a acute character has code point 193. Then the characters key, its value is actually the character. So it's essentially a string of length 1, but it's written in this way. Now that is JavaScript syntax to show a character by the Unicode code point. So the syntax is // U, then followed by four digits of hexadecimal. This is not a good thing. Again, it's a sort of escape mechanism I talked about yesterday. So let's go to my JavaScript blog. Okay, let me try to do this quickly so that actually we get somewhere. But we need to go to my JavaScript blog um, to show you JavaScript in depth. You search for Unicode. So you can see here is the syntax. This page explains the syntax of the JavaScript's as Unicode escape sequence. That's a proper name for it. JavaScript Unicode escape sequence. So actually the syntax, there are two syntax for it. So one of them is \u followed by four hexadecimal digits. Remember, only four of them. Cannot be more, cannot be less. Must be four digits of hexadecimal. So the other syntax is \u followed by a curly quote. Then inside it, you put anywhere between 4 to 6 hexadecimals. So you have these two syntax. Again, it's bad design. It's confusing. Um, so I show some examples here. So first thing we want to do, we want to go through the list and change the Unicode escape sequence into an actual character. So let's turn, so we can actually see, some of these characters. So okay, let's begin to do that. So first of all, we want to loop through the object. Now there's another complexity of JavaScript, because when you loop through object using the for in loop, that is actually a bad. That's not what you want, because that will actually loop through all the parents properties, the inherited properties which is the parents or parents of parents properties. That's not usually what you want. You only want to loop through the object's own property keys. So how do we do that? There are many ways. So go to JavaScript in depth, JavaScript properties section. Then you have list properties. So here are the several ways we can turn a property into an array. Then we can loop through the array, which is much more safer, because you don't go into the parents properties. And there are many complexities in JavaScript, because each property has several attributes. One of them is called enumerable. One is called several attribute. One of them is enumerable. Also, JavaScript property keys can have two possible types, data type. One is string, one is symbol. And symbol keys, those properties with key whose type is symbol, is a rarely used. Like usually you do not want to loop through them. So that is why you have all these complexities. Whether when you want to call a method to get all the keys of a object, you have to consider whether if you only want enumerable keys only, or do you want only string keys, or you want both string keys and symbol keys, or symbol keys only. So this is one of the example of the extreme complexity of JavaScript. So anyway, so these options, which one we're gonna use? We do not want symbols keys. We want string keys, and okay, get on property names. So let's go. Let's constant xx. Let's go down. Constant arrow function. Wait. So we want to object get on property names. Get on property names. Get on property names. Okay, so this is I'm using my own JavaScript JavaScript mod, and the abbreviation template expansion is a bit, it's not inconsistent. So anyway, get on property names. We have XX. So once we get the property names constant, okay, and so we got the array, then we can loop through the array. So for in let's use a for of loop. For of loop is new in 2015. What it does is that it allows you to go through any iterable object. So for key in array, we want console log. Okay, let's just say that. Okay, let's just print it and see what we get. Great. So we are looping through it, and it's printing all the keys. Now we are going to do, so for each key, so what we do we want to print? Let's just say print key, then code point. So that's okay. So that's so key dot code points. That would be the code point. Okay. Then the last part will be characters. So that's easy. Okay, let's print it. Undefined, that's incorrect. Okay. Okay, so what we need to do, xx dot key dot code point, then xx dot kk. Let's print it. Error again. Code points is undefined. So xx is our object. Oh wait, so xx is the object, then kk is the key. So perhaps we need to do that because otherwise kk becomes a string. That is another extreme complexity of JavaScript, because when you say something dot something, the second thing automatically becomes a string. If you do not want it to become a string, you have to use the square bracket notation to access the property. So anyway, so xx.kk, xx is the object. Good morning, Danielle. Xx is the object, and we want the key kk. That's correct. And then once we have the key, we have the object. We want to, yes, that's, I believe that is correct. Okay, let's run it. Unexpected token. What unexpected token? Oh yeah, okay, extra period, syntax error. Okay, let's run it. Yeah, we got it running and it's working correctly. This is the power of JavaScript. And it is the power of understanding what's going on. What's up, Danielle? So okay, so we got it printed out, so we can see this is the entity name, this is the code point. Why do we have a bracket there? We don't want the, let's switch back. We don't want the bracket here. Oh, because stupid. Okay, you know what? This is very this JSON data file. You see this 193? That's a code point, but but however they put a square bracket around it, meaning that it is actually a array. So why do they need an array? Well, usually it means possibly there are more than one element. Indeed, you can see in this line there are two elements. So okay, so yeah, I understand what they are doing, because for this character, this entity AC capital E. Now, which one? What the fuck is AC capital E? Oh, it's this one. It's like approximately equal to symbol. Okay, so two. So they actually created a named character for this character. This is bad. This is bad. Okay, that's another topic. That's about Unicode composition. They should not use that, because there is a single character that is of that approximately equal to. Um, Let me show you. Maybe we should talk about that. But if we do, then we are not going to have time to finish this. Not in 10 minutes. We've been yeah. Let's talk about that. After all. So Unicode. So let's go to Unicode. Let me tell you what's going on. So Unicode. If you go to Unicode, you have this math section. XARI Unicode. Okay. Then you can find. You can see there's a section of all symbols about equivalence or approximately equal to. So you can see there are all these symbols. So the symbol, you see, so there it is. You see this one? Okay, let me go to let's go to Google. Paste, so that you have JavaScript on, so I can show you better. So this is so let's magnify the window and move it here so you can see. And the character we are interested is this one. So the Unicode name is approximately equal to. So you have a wave, then you have an equal sign below it. That is one single character. That is not composition, meaning that made of two characters. That is not. So basically, the HTML entity. Let's copy that. So HTML entity, they created an entity named AC, then capital E. Okay, and they define that entity as made of two Unicode code points. Basically they want this approximately equal to character, but they create that character by using two Unicode code points. It's a composition. Basically, let's look at what character they used. So they have A766. Let's see, A766. Okay, so that is kind of this symbol, this inverted lazy S. What idiocy! Then the second character is 819. Let's see what that character is. So let's paste it here, 819. So 819, character 819 is this character. The name is combining double low line. So basically it's like an equal sign. So they are creating this approximately equal to symbol by using a composition. One is rotated S, the other one is the double low line, combining double low line. Oh my god, this is What incredible incompetence! My God, I cannot possibly believe that. I mean, there is there a reason? Like, sometimes you look at these standards. Is there a reason that they use these composition characters then instead of single? Yeah, I cannot think of one. I cannot possibly think that is a good. I cannot even, so why are they doing it? The person who wrote this, obviously, when you write it, unless you are drunk, like, or on drugs, like, you don't know what you are typing. Someone must have seen it. So what is their reason for using a composition character for this, for this glyph of a wave above a equal sign? Because there is a character like that. Yeah, I don't know. So anyway, so let's try this character. Let's just see. Let's just try it. This see if that works in browser. See what it shows. What this idiocy. You see, it doesn't even show well. You see. Yeah, whenever you use Unicode composition, character composition, meaning you create one single character that's made of two or more characters, you often it does not display well. So the other symbol we are talking about, that a single symbol is, let's just put it together in comparison so we can see. So this character is what we want. Copy it. Let's put it here, side by side, show in browser. You see this incredible, this standard fox. So yeah, so okay, so that's a new discovery today while we are doing this incredible fuck. Unicode code point. So okay. So anyway, now we understand why they are using an array here, and okay, and uh, what? Okay, what is the next thing we want to do? We have printed out their values. Uh, okay, here's what I want to do. Let's create. Well, instead of explaining what we are going to do, it's actually faster if we just type it. Just do it. Okay, so let's do it. So we are going to create a Unicode template string. So let me do this. Let's say constant ss equals to Unicode template string. Okay, I forgot the syntax. Well, I think it's $sign. That's correct. So so what we're gonna do is we wanna do that. We want to create a new JSON file, but with a additional property that shows the character directly instead of using the Unicode escape syntax, because that way then we can see the character. We can see the character. So once we have the new JSON file, we can use that to work on HTML stuff. So this part will be oh, I need to show you my window so you can see my commands. Code points. Okay, and this is an array. So this is an array. We need to write. We need to put in array syntax. Well, actually, no, it's printed. Then the last part will be char. Okay, let's not name, let's say string. Okay, string, and okay, then let's just print it now. Let's see what happens. Oops, wait, we don't want to print the first line. So comment that out, run it. Oh yeah, we need to print it. So console log ss, run it. Okay, so that seems correct. That seems correct. That seems correct. Oh, okay. So now the code point is not correct because you do need a bracket. So code points is a array. Why does it not print the bracket? I don't understand. Because when you print a array, you when you print a array, it usually prints the bracket. So let's okay, this list is too long. Let me make it shorter so we can copy. Save this as backup. Okay, go back here, and let's remove all that. Run it. Okay, now I don't understand. I should have a array bracket there. So code points. I don't understand. Yeah, you see, normally it prints the array. Okay, so that's interesting. When you have an array in a template string, somehow it skips the array brackets. Is that true? Because so of course you can just print it by doing that manually. Yeah, but that's, we can solve this problem. It's already solved. But however, usually, you should. I usually, look into why why when you have a template string that array is not printed as array. For example, let's say, for example, let's comment this out. Let's say console log print a array. So constant xx equals to 1 2 3, then print x. Okay, but if we say that, oh, this is okay, so this is actually interesting. So when you have an array in a template string, then the array bracket is not printed for some reason. Now, if you don't know what template strings is new in JavaScript 2015, and basically it allows you to embed expressions or variables inside the string. This is a popular feature in Python, in Ruby, in PHP, especially well, yeah, especially PHP. It's a popular feature, and Perl began this feature, which called interpolation of a string that basically it allows you to embed a variable or expression inside the string. So, but when we use that, oh, okay, I think I know why now. Actually, I'm not too sure. Basically, when you have an array in a string context, like when you print a array to a string, first of all, the array will be turned into the toString method will be called on it. So here the toString is called, and here the toString is also called. But however, the toString method used here is probably different one from the toString method used here. So anyway, let's figure this out later. Okay, so let's start talk show. Let's put it here, JavaScript. When a array is inside a template string, it will not print the square brackets. Okay, that is the thing. Okay, let's worry about this later. So remove that, uncomment, run it. Okay, that's what we want. Remove that. Remove that, run it. Yes, that's what we want. And what is the next thing we need to do? So actually, you add that. Yeah, so you add a string at the end here. So cool point string. There is another thing we need to do, is that we need to add the Unicode name. Right now we have a entity name, we have the code point, and we have the actual character, but we do not know the character's Unicode name. Describe function, this character is Latin capital letter A with acute. We need the Unicode name somewhere here. But however, in JavaScript, there is no built-in way to get a Unicode character's name. It doesn't exist. It exists in Python and in Golang. There's a standard library built in, but not in JavaScript. So in order to do that, you probably need to npm fetch some JavaScript library to get the Unicode name. But we are not going to do that because npm is JavaScript. Npm is very bad, and JavaScript libraries are in general you don't want to trust them. So what we can do, we do need the Unicode name because on the on the my entity page I need to say the name of the Unicode character so that people understand a description for the character. So I need a name, but how are we gonna do it? And we don't want to use JavaScript because it's not it's not there. You have to use the library. So we can either use Python, or we can use Golang, or we can use Emacs, Emacs Lisp. All this allows we to do that. Now, if I'm going to do this in Python or Golang, what I can do is that since I already have this is a JSON string, so Golang and Python can both read that. So I can just I can just switch to Python and code it, or Golang. Now Python, I have some experience using the Unicode package, so I can do it faster than Golang, because in Golang I have not used the Unicode character package before. When you need to know the character's full name. And if we are going to do in Emacs Lisp, there are two ways. One way is just like Python and Golang. There's also a JSON reader in Emacs Lisp. But the other way is to do it interactively. So we can actually just interactively start to add the actual character here. Let me show you how. Okay, let's do that. Let me show you how to do that interactively in Emacs. So once we have a character here, character name. Yeah, we need character name. So okay, so let's do that. Let's start a macro. So in the beginning, let's go to beginning of line. Start macro. Okay, but before we do that, we need to know, given a code point, how do we show the character? Insert char. Okay. Right, insert char does not take a decimal number. You need a hexadecimal. The problem is more complex than I want. So there is a way to insert a character using the code point, but I forgot. So in order to do that, let's go to my Emacs tutorial. So you go to Practical Emacs, then you go down. There is a Unicode topic, and there is Unicode tutorial. So you go to that page. Then there is how how to set a key to insert a Unicode character, how to use a brief to insert Unicode character, how to insert a Unicode character by its hexadecimal, how to insert Unicode character by its decimal value. This is what we want. Oh, so you just need to type $R, 10R. Okay, let's try that. So let's say we want to type the character 193. So we call insert char, then $10R 193. Enter. There it is. Great. So we got that. Okay, so remember it's $10R, insert char $10R. Okay, let's do that. So let's go back here. We're gonna start a macro. Let me show you the panel. Start a macro. Move to that. Move to that. Move to that. Wait. Start a macro. Move. Move. Copy the whole. Copy. Then go to the end. Go to the end. Go back. Insert mod. Put a comma. Space. Quote. Name. Quote. Colon. Space. Quote. Command mod. Call the command insert char. Okay, then $10R, go to insert mod, paste, enter, quote. That is it. Now hold on a second. Let's stop macro. Okay, what this macro does is that it will just add the character here, but we actually want the name. We want the name of the character, but let's hold on that for a moment. Let's just use this macro to get all the names. So we're gonna select all these lines, okay, up to here. Then let's call apply macro to region lines. Yay, we got it working. So you see, now we have the actual character at the end of each line. Now there is a except this macro only works for characters that has only one Unicode code point. So it does not work for this in this case because in composition characters you actually have two characters, so it doesn't fit into the scheme. There's no one single name. You have two characters with two names. So we have to do something special about the the composition characters. That's truly stupid. Anyway, so this Emacs list macro, Emacs macro, we just show key macro that added the characters for us. The next step is to replace the characters to Unicode name. So let's do that. So first of all, shrink it a bit so you can see. Let's record another macro. So start macro, go to the end, then 1, 2, 3, move backward 3 times. One more time. Then that's called describe char. Okay. Now we have a character information. Now we switch pane. Then search for name colon space. Okay. Then we cut the rest of the line. We switch back. Okay, so then we move cursor right, put a comma, and let's just say paste it. Okay, quote, paste, quote. Okay, let's do that for now. And macro. Okay, so let's select these lines and apply macro to region lines. Okay, apply macro to region lines. There's an error somewhere. Okay, so I think this is getting really long. So what I think what we let's finish this. Start macro. Go to end of line. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go back 4 characters. Code describe char. Switch pane. Search. Name colon space. Enter. Exit. Copy the rest of the line. Oh, I know what happens because I was trying to cut. When you cut, there's an error, even though the cut is still successful, but it doesn't delete it. So whenever there's an error, your key macro exits. So that is why. So let's not do the cut. Let's just say copy. To prevent the error, which in turn stops our key macro. So let's start again. Okay, start record key macro. Go to the end of line. Backward 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Then call describe char. Switch cursor to the next pane. Search for name colon space. Then enter to exit the search. Then mark. Then go to the end of mark. Copy. Okay, no error. That's good. Now we switch back. Actually, we switch back to the panel. Remove all the other panels. Move cursor to the right 2 times. Add a comma. Space. Quote. Quote. Okay. Backspace. Paste. That is what we want. Now we exit the key macro. Stop key macro. So we have recorded 1 key macro. And now let's apply that key macro to all these lines. Okay, apply Emacs apply macro to region lines. Superb. so we can see. So okay, we have just demonstrated 2 keyboard macros. Emacs key macros that transform kind of this JSON file, transform interactively. So we have like 2,000 lines, right? Remember, we had 2,000 of these entities. So now we have a way to interactively change all of them to actually show. So what is the purpose of changing them? To show the character itself and also the Unicode name of that character. So this is one of the great use of Emacs, because otherwise you have to either use a JavaScript library from the wild, or start to do this in Golang or Python. And Emacs give us this option, just interactively change the JSON file, and we can also do it in Emacs Lisp. That's another option. So anyway, now we have that. So basically, what I have to do right now is just to print it out. We have the character name, we have the code point, we have the character itself. So all we have to do is to let's go back to the XML page. Here, all we have to do is just print it, like, for example, like this. Let's magnify HTML mod, magnify. All we have to do is add a li, and let's say, yeah, let's print it then. Why not? So first of all, let me show you what we're gonna print. Actually, let me copy that. Just I'm just going to work this quickly without much explanation. Name, code point, what we want to do is the HTML syntax. Okay, then so basically we just want to print lines like that. For each line in the JSON file, we want to print lines like that. I'm simplifying a lot of things. For example, we are skipping these composition charts because I don't know how many are there. You have to think about how to deal with them. Remember, our task is to create a HTML page that lists all the named entities. Obviously, this page, the purpose is for references purposes and also as a tutorial. So when you have a situation like these composition characters, you need to kind of explain it. You cannot just slap it there. Like even right now we have difficulties because these composition characters, it has two, because it's a two characters, so it has two names, so it does not fit into our format here, where each line is the entity name, then the Unicode code point. But for the case of composition, you have more than one code point, so we don't know what to do with that, so we are skipping that for now. We don't know how many are there, but let me just push through and show you what we're gonna do. So for this composition, let's just comment it out, and we are just going to print, first of all, print this. Let's see. So this, let me magnify. This is actually wrong. Let's say I'm going to make some modification here, but you can see that if we do the key macro the first time, we can do it correctly. I'm just going to manually add something here. So that is actually what we want. Yes, name. And for the first one, we also need to do that. Let's just do it manually. Okay, that seems it. Char name. So we are making sure that the JSON file syntax is all correct. Now what is this one? Acute. So this is Latin small letter with small letter a with acute. Now notice there's something odd here, because notice both this line and this line, they have the same character, 225. Okay, let me show you 225 code point. But however, the named entities are different. One is without the semicolon at the end. Now that is one of the problem created by HTML5, because now they have several, they created several, about 20 or 30 entities without the trailing semicolon. In other words, now the entity, the HTML entity syntax is now inconsistent. There's no, it's not regular anymore, because some of the named entities do not need to end, does not end in a semicolon. That is actually a problem. Let me show you that. You can read about on my web blog. So you have all these entities, named entities, without the trailing semicolon. This creates a huge amount of problems when your syntax becomes irregular, because then you have all kind of special cases. It becomes extremely difficult to parse and error prone. Hey, good morning, Alessives. I cannot see your message, and I don't know when you typed it. So anyway, this video is getting too long, and we are not, I start to ramble, not going anywhere. But let's just finish printing this. Yeah, we are trying to finish printing this, and that'll be it for today. I would say 10 more minutes. But first of all, we have to make sure every character here is, the JSON file is actually correct format. So you see we are missing that one. Let's not worry about it. Let's just delete it, okay? To save time. But you get the point. We've gone through this. So now let's print it. It's okay. Yeah, that's correct. Now we need to print. We need to print actually here. That's what we want to print in this format. So let's go. How do we do this? Copy that, paste it here. Let's just do that. That's what we need to print. So first of all, we need to print the entity, but okay. Constant entity. Entity syntax equals to let's just say that Now that is entity. Now code point, okay. Code point is going to be this. That is the code point. So we got entities, we got code point, then we got the char name, okay. Char name will be name. That's right. So actually we don't need this stupid me. We don't need this. So that's much simpler. Code points name. That's right. And entity is not string. Yeah, actually we don't need the string. It's stupid. So entity is KK. And hey base, good morning. I'm just going to bed, but I'll look forward to watching this stream. Thank you. Thank you. Good night. So anyway, so yeah, so this is almost done, and we don't need this line anymore. Make sure this is correct. Entity string. Uh, so entity string. That's right. Entity decimal. Oh, that's the code point. So then we have entity hex name. Hex. So how do you get the hex? Hex is actually just the so we need to turn a code point to hex. But before all that, let's just print it. Just make sure. Yeah, that's correct. And now let's do this. We are almost done. We print this correctly and we'll be done. Entity code point. Okay, so now right now the problem is you need to convert decimal to hexadecimal. So how do we do that? We can do that. Actually, the code point is actually we need to do this ampersand pound. You see, this is a problem with the entities. You are seeing a moment why you need that ampersand sign AMP semicolon. Then here we need ampersand colon pound sign x, and here should be a hexadecimal. So the problem is how do you convert a decimal number to hexadecimal in JavaScript? Wait, let's look at the JavaScript in depth. Let's search for hex. Okay, it's not there, then it's a number section. Okay, iterable, maybe in a string section. String overview, string escape sequence, Unicode escape, string object, string prototype. Let's go to object reference. Object reference number prototype. Let's go to number object. Number object, you have number prototype parse int. Yes, parse int to hex. That's right. So hexadecimal string to number, binary string to number, decimal string. Okay, it converts a string to integer. That's not what we want. We want to convert a integer to a string, hexadecimal string. String to number, number to string. Let's see, string to number, string to integer, string to decimal number, number to string. So we want this one. Yeah, that one. So number dot to string radix. Okay, so here we will have code point. Code point is a number. That's right. Dot. Actually, code point, the first element. So code point dot to string, and radix will be 16 for hexadecimal. Okay, let's try to do this. Okay, so we got that. We don't need that anymore. Let's run it again. So that is our result. Copy it. Let's go to the HTML and paste it and see what we get. You go to other. Let's open this page. Open. Update the date, and let's paste it here. So we need a UL. Let's add a UL. Okay. Show in browser. So we have a HTML. Okay, so hexadecimal syntax, that's correct. Decimal syntax, correct. We got it working. Well, there's some little errors we need to fix. So so let's fix it. Console log. Okay, let's print the UL so that, and then we need to hexadecimal syntax. Hex is we need a semicolon at the end. Semicolon at the end. And also the entity name should be that needs to fix. We need to fix that because the entity name, it shows us a character because it is actually showing the entity name, such as such as that. But instead, what you want is replace that ampersand symbol by ampersand amp semicolon. So this is part of the reason entities is no good. Any kind of escape sequence is no good. They increase the parsing and complication by a magnitude, and also because of that, it becomes extremely error prone. So often you see a web page, you see these screwed up characters, or actually there are many reasons for that, but part of the reason is because the parsing, it becomes very complex. So anyway, let's fix this. So the first character needs to be fixed. That is not trivial. Let me do that. Let me explain. But also the decimal point is correct. The hexadecimal is fixed. Okay, let's try to run this again. Let's run it. Hold on. Name entity syntax. Let's run it. Okay, copy, switch to the HTML buffer, paste, show in browser. So named syntax that, decimal syntax that, hex syntax that, name is that. That is good. Okay, that is what we set out to do. Now there's one more error. The last error is that the name entity syntax, it's showing the character directly. So what we need to do is actually we need to write a program so here. Okay, so we can do this. So entity, this is actually the character. We need another one. So what's going on is that we need another one too for the entity string. So we can do that by, we want to remove the first character. So we can do that by, so here is amp that plus then substring slice. Okay, slice start with 1 to end. Okay, that is the answer. Okay, so let's do this. Char. So we have the character, then we have named syntax, then we have decimal syntax, we have hex syntax, then the character name and in the end. Okay, let's run it, copy it, go to the browse, go to the HTML page, paste it, show in browser. This is still wrong. Because we didn't, there it is. Run it, copy, close, paste, show in browser. Correct. Okay, I think so. That's it. So we set out to do this, and it's done. It's we got. So now all we have to do is I have to work on the whole 2,000 characters of I forgot where it is, entity. Anyway, there are 2,000 lines of the new entities. I need to create that, and then I need to deal with the composition characters. Figure out how to deal with that. So anyway, that's it. That's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Hey Danielle, URL cannot contain spaces. It is actually an example of using character escape. It is actually an example of using character escapes in markup in CSS. Yeah, so what are you? I think what you are saying is that you are giving a reason uh, for for the case of using escape sequences or entities. There are some valid reason, and you are saying one of the reason is that is that URL cannot contain spaces. Therefore, yeah, I don't know what. Yeah, so I know what you are saying. So you are saying that is a or might be a valid reason for any sort of escape sequences or entities, which I commented earlier that I don't think those are good. But I think you are right. I think there are some cases of valid reason. So I think escape sequences are not entirely bad. There are some good uses. So the question to me is, are there some actually good valid reasons to use it, or should it be entirely banned? Like there's no one single good reason for its existence at all. Any sort of escape sequence characters. Now, I haven't thought about that. I've talked about before. If you seen my previous video, we are talking about this because there are a lot of situations where these escape sequences or entities they actually cause tremendous harm. They are extremely bad design. But now the question is, are there actually some? Yes, yeah. So there are absolutely are certain cases where escape sequences are good design and valid. And one example I know of is that when you have, for example, invisible characters or control sequence characters in ASCII, you usually you sometimes you want to tell people how to for example you're writing a tutorial explaining what control sequences are. Those are invisible characters, but you need to like identify them. You need to make them visible so you can explain to users. So for example in C string you have backslash n that stands for new line, which is invisible characters, and backslash t for tab, which is another invisible characters. So when you explain in some programming languages, tab matters. So you need some kind of a sequence of code to indicate these invisible character. You cannot just say tab, which becomes invisible. So that, for example, is a valid use of a kind of a escape sequence or kind of a code that replaces another character. Now, in your case, you are saying about URL not allowing space, which is another good use of escape sequence. I think so. I haven't thought, you know. Yeah, obviously you are right, but what I'm saying is that I tend to have this philosophy, so I need to think about it for 1 hour. I need to walk take a walk and do a monologue for 1 hour to have a conclusion about whether space in URL not allowed, whether that is a good reason to use escape sequences or some sort of encoding. Um, but yeah, I think that's a good reason anyway. So so that's digression. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. Well, that's not actually digression. It's related to the topic because the whole topic today is about these entities. So this would be part two of the yesterday's entities topic. If you haven't seen it, so go watch it. So anyway, have a good day, Danielle, and thank you guys for watching. Bye.